We'll wait for everybody to roll up. Everybody here? Close?
We're still now that you had a couple days to sort of process what happened. How tough was it to see, a couple days later to see how close you guys were, not just in that last game, but throughout the series?
It's really difficult. I think that's something that you deal with the entire off season, knowing that we had a really good opportunity to move on to the conference finals. It's really tough, especially with Paul hitting the shot in that last game, and then a couple plays the game before. It just could have changed everything for us, but it's something you have to learn from, and continue to just try and improve as a basketball player.
How do you sum up your experience? It was quite a journey to get here, and then the role you ended up taking on.
I've been blessed. Extremely excited about my journey and having the opportunity to be a part of the Wizards organization, be a part of the success this year, and really being able to contribute. So I give all thanks to the man above because he's given me the strength just to continue to press on.
What do you think? Obviously, John's injury plays as a big what if for this series. What do you think you guys need as a whole going forward? Is it just a healthy John Wall, or some other pieces that you guys need to get that next step?
I think just a healthy John Wall. We were able to grind one game out without him. It's kind of tough. It was tough to get the second one that we needed to get, but had John been healthy, I really like our chances because we were still in those games. And John brings a lot to the table, and we definitely could have changed the complexity of those games. And, we could be looking at something different right now if it didn't happen, but it did happen. Other guys stepped up and gave us a really good opportunity to also win.
Rasual, how are you going to approach and attack your summer here?
I'm just going to take off a couple weeks and get back to work. Let those things just handle themselves. I think that, you conduct yourself as a professional, you do your job, and you let everything else take care of itself.
Is that kind of what you've learned from being through this stuff before?
Absolutely. A lot of things change over free agency, so you're not really sure the direction the team is going to go in. So the only thing I can control is the way I prepare myself to be ready to play.
You've been with other teams. What struck you about playing with this team this season? What impressed you? What did you like the most about being with this team?
Well, playing against them the season before, when I was with the Pacers, you just can see, how tough this young team was. They had a really young core, but you could see that they were ready to take the next step. That was intriguing. Playing with someone like John Wall, Bradley Beal, those guys would get so much attention. Even Nate and Gortat being bigs who can really pass the ball, I felt like I could be a good fit here. And I think, for the better half of the first season, that was the case. I mean, the better half of the beginning of the season, that was the case. So, you can just see that this team is ready to take the next step.
The Otto we saw in the postseason was different than we saw glimpses of that during the regular season, but not consistently and maybe not with such force. What do you think changed for him in the postseason that we saw a guy like that throughout the playoffs?
Well, it's an old saying that sometimes they say that pressure, it busts pipes and makes diamonds. I think he just responded to the intensity and the pressure of the playoffs. He was ready to go, and he really grew up this postseason. He was really in tune to the game plan. He played with great energy. We wouldn't have the opportunity to win without Otto. He was everywhere. On the offensive end, on the defensive end, he really matured this postseason. He was proud to see.
So, you want to come back?
Absolutely. This is a promising team. If John was healthy, I'm sure we would be still playing. This is a great group of guys, great coaching staff, great organization, and I absolutely would love to return.
Moving forward, biggest lesson you feel this team learned in the playoffs and the regular season run that will help this squad in the future?
Just, every game counts, every possession counts. I think, you go into the next season thinking you know, that every game you have to look at as being a season-defining game because you want to push to get home floor, and you just can't drop games the way that we did, I think, before the All-Star break and after the All-Star break. That's kind of the time where you can steal a couple games and put yourself in a good position to have home court at least, you know, in a round or two of the playoffs.
You got a chance to watch John and Brad from afar, but having the chance this season to play with them for a full year, what did you take away from those two, and where do you see them going in the future as far as their development?
The future is bright for John and Brad as well. At their age, they're really responsible with, you know, being the top guys, being the top dog, so to say. Really intelligent basketball players, great guys, great leaders. I was proud of John and Brad the way that they stepped up and became more vocal leaders in this postseason. So the sky's the limit for both of them.
It's one thing to have talent off the bench. It's another thing to have guys who, even if they're sitting for a while, can come in and get the job done. It seemed like for you, Drew, Garrett, even if you sat for a while for games on end, you were ready to come in and contribute. What does it take just for a veteran to be able to have that mentality? Because for some guys, it is that struggle. You don't sit, you can't help right away.
Well, it's your experience. You know, being in situations, just understanding that the only way to be prepared to play is to be professional. This is our job. You know, just like you guys go home and, you know, you do your dirt, you do your work, you do your due diligence to make sure you're prepared. We have to do the same thing as basketball players. And that's the only way to be prepared. You want to be prepared when your team needs you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Thank you.